We usually think of language as a tool for connection, right? But what happens when it gets twisted into a weapon? Today, we're going to unpack how words are sometimes deliberately engineered, not just to persuade, but to manipulate and to control. So, what is it that makes language truly dangerous? And it's not what you might think. It's not about just being loud or angry. The real threat is way more subtle. It's like a weapon that targets the way we think. See, truly dangerous language isn't just about the words themselves. It's about how they work on us. It's about the hidden mechanisms that are specifically designed to have an effect. And it often follows a pretty simple formula. First, you take our complex, messy world and offer a simple but totally false sense of certainty. Then you create an other, an enemy, to blame for all the problems. And finally, you use our own fear to grab power and control. Okay, so how does this actually play out in the real world? Well, these toxic qualities aren't just random. Turns out there are 5 specific recurring patterns that pop up everywhere, from big authoritarian systems all the way down to manipulative personal relationships. First up, we've got a pattern that's all about shutting down a conversation before it can even get started. It's called TINA, which stands for there is no alternative. The goal here is really simple. Make you feel powerless and present one single course of action as completely inevitable. Yeah, when you hear this phrase or anything like it, that should be a huge red flag. It's a deliberate move to eliminate choice and just take critical thinking right out of the equation. The second pattern is one we've all felt at some point, the rhetoric of fear. This stuff is incredibly effective because it hijacks our most basic survival instincts. It creates this sense of emergency that forces us to react emotionally, not rationally. And the formula, it's so simple, but wow, is it powerful. Step 1, present a terrifying, often kind of vague threat. Step 2, offer your plan as the one and only way to escape that terrible outcome. It's a classic setup. Next, we have what is maybe the most socially destructive pattern of all, the rhetoric of dehumanization. It works by drawing this hard line between groups of people, and it lays the groundwork to treat some people as less than human. And historically, that has justified some profound harm. This simple statement, that is the engine of dehumanization. It creates an in-group, that's us, and an out-group, that's them. And once that division is locked in, it becomes much easier to justify mistreatment, exclusion, and injustice against them. Our fourth pattern is a classic move. You see it everywhere. Blame shifting. It's designed to move responsibility away from where it actually belongs. Basically, to dodge accountability at all costs. I mean, this tactic just turns reality completely on its head, right? It reframes the person who's actually causing the harm as the victim, someone who is supposedly forced into their actions. It's a really powerful way to justify abuse while taking zero responsibility. And finally, we get to what might be the sneakiest pattern of them all, because it's so hard to spot. It's called the rhetoric of apparent reason. It disguises a deeply biased or manipulative agenda under this cloak of pure logic and common sense. And that right there is its calling card. By claiming the high ground of rationality, this tactic makes you feel like you're the one being emotional or irrational for disagreeing. It's a really clever way to shut down legitimate arguments without ever having to actually address them. Okay, so we've laid out these 5 patterns, but the really big question is still just hanging there. Why? Why are they so effective? Why do we fall for them? Well, it's because they aren't just random words. They are precision engineered to exploit the very core of our human psychology. And this is where it all just clicks into place. Each pattern plugs directly into a deep psychological need we all have. The rhetoric of fear, it preys on our need for security. Dehumanization, that taps into our powerful desire for belonging. And there is no alternative, well, that exploits our natural aversion to uncertainty. This isn't just about winning an argument, it's a targeted attack on our deepest human wiring. So after going through all these patterns and seeing why they work, what can we do? I mean, what's our best defense against this kind of manipulation? Here's the most important thing to remember. This kind of language is almost never a mistake. It's not a slip of the tongue. It is a deliberately chosen tool, and it's designed with a very clear purpose: to get power, to shift responsibility, and to control other people. Honestly, just recognizing these patterns is the first and most powerful step toward neutralizing them. Knowledge really is the antidote. So the real question isn't just what you've learned here, but how this new awareness is going to change what you see and hear in the world around you. Where will you see these tools at play next?